Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're probably watching this at sometime around 8 a.m. because that's when I scheduled it, partially due to the DCS. It's a traditional company that I'm going to be covering later in this video. Disclaimers and disclosures and so forth are in the description of the video below. However, I wanted to lead off this video with some information that, you know, if you don't watch a lot of my live streams for whatever reason, you know, I was getting a lot of comments in the last video about basically doing a particular segment of this recent live in a standalone video. And so I'm going to kind of do that, and I'm going to expand on that a little bit before we get to the DCS segment. Now, what you're seeing here is a graphic. It's the Cardano ecosystem. And in this graphic, and I'm going to cover myself so you can see it, this is a breakdown of the different partners, companies, and projects and things so far that we know associated with the Cardano blockchain, okay? As you can see, programming languages alone, you've got 5 different programming languages, of which will be used to develop applications and things on the Cardano blockchain. And if you scroll, well, actually, if you look over here, you're going to see strategic partners and collaborations. All right, strategic partners and collaborators, one of which now is Celsius Network, which we all know. Confido, Obsidian, just a lot of different groups. In videos to come, I'm going to start breaking down some of these companies. I'm going to start diving into them and kind of exploring what these relationships mean to Cardano overall, because I don't see a lot of people doing that. And I think it's important for people to understand the different technologies and use cases that Cardano is being set up to use or to be useful for. You've got a variety of different community tools and things that, you know, give you metrics and statistics and so forth. Obviously, exchange partnerships and so forth. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and there's a lot of stuff that I just don't think a lot of people really fully grasp or understand, because some of them aren't necessarily so flashy on the front end of things. And one of the things that I see a lot of in the cryptocurrency space is people do focus more on things that they feel are going to give them an immediate price response. And I think by neglecting some of the more underlining fundamentals of a project like Cardano, I feel like we're doing ourselves a big disservice to a big degree, because we're not fully understanding the overall growth potential over a period of time due to the establishment of a lot of these underlying protocols, partnerships, and relationships that so many of us seem to ignore. So I'm going to start focusing in on a lot of that as we move forward into the bull market. So start expecting more videos with content associated with these individual projects and partnerships, because I do think they're very, very important, and they're definitely being neglected. Now, currently, right now, I mean, I'm recording this all on Sunday. It's 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're seeing this in the morning, so we'll see what changes. But you can see we're kind of, it looks to be lining up in a bit of an accumulation phase right now. This is a 4-hour chart. We got a pretty significant pump where we basically wicked at $1.30 and then fell down from there, and we've started to accumulate. Typically, when I see something like this, I'm expecting a further breakout to the upside. That's basically what I'm hoping to see. However, we saw something like this before, and we plummeted pretty hard. I mean, we rose up, we fell back to about half, and then got another tick up, and then slowly went down. But again, the purple line is where you're going to see Ethereum. That's Ethereum of 2017, just as a reminder. Now, this is something that I want to really project, and I want to make sure people understand. One of the big things, and it's one of a multitude of functionalities associated with what's being built on Cardano, has to do with native tokens and the like. Now, this is a part of an article on Decrypt where it just discusses a lot of what's going on with Cardano, and this paragraph here is one that in my live stream, it didn't seem like a lot of people truly understood the significance of this. So I'm going to read this, I'm going to share it, and I'm going to go into it a little bit. Now, the same functionality is coming to Cardano. As an example, the blockchain's developers have presented a Cardano native dApp that allows users to swap different tokens, much like Ethereum's killer dApps, such as Uniswap. Basically, what this is saying is that they're creating the functionality within the Cardano blockchain so that outside third-party protocols that are ultimately stealing from, not really stealing, but generating their own market cap, revenue streams, they're basically taking out of the Ethereum ecosystem, and they're creating a new one because they're adding third-party functionality to a blockchain that Cardano is ultimately building into it natively. So when you look at like Uniswap, or you look at SushiSwap, and you see the trading volume, 395 million there. Uniswap, you're looking at 663 million dollars in daily trade volume. This is all transactional volume that's happening, and a market cap for tokenized value. Currently sitting at $28 for a Uniswap token. This is all value that's basically being stripped away from Ethereum because it's adding functionality to that blockchain, but it's taking the value from it as well. And we're obviously seeing a lot of popularity in these token swap protocols because of the DeFi applications and all the different things running on them. Well, Cardano is building this stuff as a native protocol to Cardano so that we're not having to go out to third-party token swap protocols to do whatever we need to do. It's all going to be internal. This is a huge deal because all of the market cap valuations, the trading volume, all of that stuff is basically going to add to the Cardano ecosystem instead of taking away from it. And that was basically the point I was trying to break down in my live stream the other day. And I just kept seeing, I don't get it. I don't understand. And I kept seeing that. And I tried to explain a little bit further, but I wanted to touch on it again in this video because I think the sooner people really understand more of the fundamental developments on the Cardano blockchain, what's being developed to work within the ecosystem itself and how it's going to add to, think about it. If we had this volume, this is just two third-party applications running on Ethereum. There are many, many more. So if we no longer have the need for these third-party applications and all this is coming to Cardano itself, and we believe that Cardano is ultimately going to be kicking Ethereum down quite a few pegs and potentially taking over the market. I do believe that there will be a day when Cardano completely takes over the market. these are the types of decisions being made in its development that I think are going to help take it there, because we're going to have to look less often outside of the current ecosystem to get things done, and all of those things are going to be helping the ecosystem overall. So hopefully I've made that clear. You'll see that today I'm a little bit more subdued because, quite honestly, I have a broken foot. I was kicking laundry. And blasted the corner. I blasted the bed frame, and I really busted my foot bad. Like one of my toes is black right now. So lots of fun. But there's apparently like not much I can do about it. So I'm not even going to bother trying. Now I'm going to go into a presentation for this company. It's a paid segment. And I'm hoping that, any of you guys and gals that are into the traditional markets at all, obviously I'm not a traditional market trader, but I do like some of these companies. And I have had a couple of, traditional segments, traditional market paid segments come to me. And, they say, hey, is this in your wheelhouse? Is this something you have an interest in? And I saw this, and I saw simplifying Internet of Things business solutions, end-to-end device-to-cloud platform solutions. That's what the DCS company does. And I thought, this is a traditional company, but my question is how long will it be until they start utilizing blockchain technologies to help implement some of these IoT techs? Because Internet of Things I believe Internet of Things is going to be probably the next bull market's big adoption building use case. I think right now we've been focusing so much in crypto on building the blockchains that can handle the volume, the transactional volume without bottlenecking. Interoperability is obviously a big thing. It's a big thing with Cardano because we want these blockchains to be able to communicate and work hand in hand with one another. And I think Internet of Things is going to be where, I think that there's going to be a day when there's some, mass system somewhere that's keeping track of how many times we make coffee in a day, what temperature we run our bath water. I do believe that day is coming. And I think it's going to be sold to us in a sense as a convenience offering. Make your life easier with this. Make your life more convenient with this. Now, some of us may or may not like that because we don't want absolutely everything we do to be tracked or potentially controlled from an outside source. But nevertheless, it's coming and it's happening, and it will be adopted by many people, which is going to push this kind of technology much further into the mainstream as a keyword, not just not just something that exists. So when I saw this company, DCS, I thought, okay, listen, the technology is going to continue growing, and they're looking to start simplifying a lot of this technology to make it more easily accessible to developers and other companies that want to take advantage of the Internet of Things kind of systems. And so I thought, all right, let's dive into it a little bit. IoT is in fact the future. I believe that to be true. From 2G to 4G and soon to be 5G, which we already have in a lot of places. I know we have it here. We have seen the advancement from personal computers to smartphones. IoT is the next step of the evolution, and the future is happening now. DCS leadership thriving into the future. With over 50 years of combined experience, the DCS solutions and services are making the IoT evolution possible today. This is the website. It's DCS Business. There'll be a link in the description below so that you can check it out. You can see a lot of the different partners associated with this company. This is a relatively small company based out of San Diego, and it might help their any public offerings they might have if they were to move somewhere. I think maybe that was a little bit more beneficial to companies, because from what I'm seeing, California does not sound like it's treating companies or really anybody very well. But to each their own. And nowadays you can be pretty much anywhere in the world and be able to operate pretty fluidly. So a platform solution that builds the future economy. Direct Communication Solutions serves its clients by simplifying IoT technologies, making them easier to deploy, less costly, and overall more efficient. In a world where technology is increasingly automated and sensors enhance business decisions, DCS specializes on connecting our world to data. DCS designs, develops, and deploys end-to-end solutions which improve business efficiencies to better our experience in managing, analyzing data. We can connect things anywhere, and they will be. I mean, you know, even doing this segment is difficult because while I love the technology and I know where it's going, I also know how stuff like this could be potentially used in the wrong hands, and it's a little scary. But it's for that reason alone that I think there are going to be more companies like this, and they're going to continue growing. I mean, that's just my own personal opinion. But like I said, and when I was reading through a lot of this stuff, I didn't see much, if any, mention of blockchain technologies, which actually surprises me a bit, because I am of the belief that for the most efficient use and development of a lot of these IoT technologies, a lot of that stuff would end up being blockchain based. Now, I could be wrong. They could be doing a lot of this, and I just don't know. I just didn't see any of that. 2006, they incorporated in the state of Florida. 2012, Global Telit wireless data module distributor, North American value-added reseller of telematics equipment, CalAmp Corporation. 2015, My Fleet brand was born. Fleet and Asset Management Solutions agreement signed, Gertam. In 2019, DCS launches all-in-one cloud-based IoT platform. Now, well, I'll read a little bit more and I'll give you some other thoughts here. DCS is focusing on delivering end-to-end IoT solutions that are enabled by the latest technologies. We have begun to develop advanced software applications and databases that can analyze and manage the data that IoT hardware has traditionally just collected. These provide businesses with the opportunity to receive real-time data in order to make better decisions about their business. With our cloud and or via software as a service, MaaS business model, business and technology can finally work together. Again, you know, if they're doing a lot of this stuff, even though cloud-based technology to me is still pretty centralized. And depending on the nature of the data being stored and analyzed and utilized for different things, I can't help but feel that that blockchain technology would help facilitate a lot of this much easier, probably cleaner, probably faster, with a lot more control and with the ability to establish its own ecosystem. So even though this is not a cryptocurrency company, obviously, and it's not a blockchain-based company, I'm curious to see if they were to actually have plans to get into the blockchain space to help facilitate a lot of the applications and such that they're looking to develop. Chris Bursey, the founder and CEO with 20 plus years of industry experience. It's so weird looking at a team and they're not all Asian. I mean, I'm so used to these crypto companies and like everyone on the team is like Asian. It's just what I see the most of. So to see like, you know, a panel like this in corporate leadership, it's just totally weird to me. And I don't mean anything bad by any of that at all. It's just, you know, not what I'm used to, as you know. Rich Gumberg, a chief financial officer, another 20 plus year veteran, chief technology officer, software, cloud, IoT, and telecom, with Eric Plazik. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Sorry. Dave Scobie, chief operations officer with 18 plus years, Princeton University. Mike Lawless, 21 plus years sales and management, information technology. The multi-billion-dollar IoT industry is plagued with partial and incomplete solutions, which I can attest to that. The industry is frustrated with the lack of end-to-end solutions capable of bringing true value to the end user. The industry is segmented into hardware, connectivity, and software providers, which traditionally do not work cohesively with one another. DCS's experience harvesting solutions in this industry for years positions them to develop and to deliver seamless end-to-end hardware to software solutions in the most efficient and cost-effective manner. The end result, solutions for mass adoption, saving its clients time, money, and effort. And then it starts to go into some of the different technologies associated with what they build. The DCS Advantage, simplified, seamless, stress-free, and cost-effective. Multi-platform solutions that are both web-based and mobile. Integrated solutions for hardware and software. Alerts and notifications through SMS and email. Remote monitoring, remote management, data analysis. There's a lot of different stuff that these guys are diving into. My fleet and asset management. This is the kind of stuff, like, what's one of the biggest businesses you're likely to come up with? If you live anywhere in the suburbs, it's likely one of your neighbors works for a company like a TQL or some sort of logistics company, right? These guys that work like round the clock all year round, basically selling their logistics services, putting product suppliers with freight companies and basically making a rip on that, right? And it's such a booming industry that a lot of these people, they start off at a particular firm and they branch off and start their own, and then they make millions of dollars and do really well. I've seen it happen over and over again. And a lot of these companies would basically benefit from something like this, My Fleet and asset management, being able to keep track of everything going on in a much more comprehensive system. My Sensors, remote sensor monitoring, a turnkey sensor monitoring application, web and mobile application for iOS, Android, cross-cellular carrier compatibility, real-time alerts and monitoring, comprehensive reporting. Bruzy, beer life cycle monitor and control system, which, that's obviously a big segment of a lot of industries. So, overall, the company looks legit. It's a smaller company. This isn't a big, huge corporate entity. I would consider this a smaller cap kind of company, looking to expand operations and promote themselves. And so that's ultimately what we've done here, is just kind of show a company that you may be interested in if you're into the traditional markets and you want to dabble a bit into something more traditional, a little smaller with room to grow in a field that's likely going to benefit a lot of people. And like I said, I do believe over the next 5 years, I think we're going to see a pretty significant growth in Internet of Things technologies, both on blockchain and off. I just think it's something that, especially when you take into account artificial intelligence and where I believe we're going to be heading into the future with AI, and how AI will benefit from the implementation of Internet of Things type technologies as well. I just think we're going to be in a I don't know, like when you watch any kind of movie or TV show about the future, from Minority Report or anything like it, it's technologies like this that I think ultimately are going to be what are most sought after. IoT and blockchain, I think, is really going to be a big part of the future. So check it out if you're interested. Disclosures and all the other information are going to be in the description below. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today, and I will see you again very soon. Until next time, guys, crow your coins.